time to get a little serious. And so I was thinking about everything I've learned recently. You know, looking into the sleeping sickness. Oh shit, I should see if this even works. Does it have volume? Oh shit, I should see if this even works. Okay. All right. So I was looking into what's it called? The sleeping sickness. And it's crazy to me that, like, you know, my wife and I are just fucking around looking at this shit online, and clearly sleeping sickness was a result of the vaccination programs that they were putting forth. And I mean, like obviously 1915 they introduced 3 different vaccines. Rabies, pertussis, and what's the other one? Something. One of the major vaccines.
Where'd the makeup go?
This one? But the sleeping sickness thing was a really interesting look. And what the official narrative will show you, if you allow it to, if you don't just shut down because you're not allowed to talk about those things. But the official narrative will show you that there's a lot that goes along with the vaccines. There's a lot of coincidence, I guess you could say, associated with them. In that there'll be some sort of program, some sort of breakthrough, some sort of introduction of this thing that happens, and then suddenly polio breaks out. The 4 largest cases of hepatitis ever to break out directly had to do with the pokes, whether it was bad needles or bad ingredients or whatever they tried to blame it on. There's something called GBS right now, which is Guillain-Barré syndrome, which literally you only get it from pokes. And it's a nervous system disorder. It affects the nervous system. And it mimics polio. To me, it's polio. They just renamed it. But there's a real big sort of catastrophe that takes place with the 1976 swine flu vaccination program, where they forced 46 million Americans alone, and who knows how many worldwide, to get a shot for something that didn't exist. It wasn't real. Like, if you look into it, it was all a creation of this guy called Dr. David Sencer. His last name is Sencer. He's clearly Jewish. And his narrative too, if you just look into his narrative, you'll see, exactly what I'm talking about. And so I was watching this girl today. Well, I mean, David Sencer, the whole 1976 swine flu vaccination program. I've done a deep dive into it many times. If you believe it, whether it's the ingredients or it's the jet injector method that they used to use, where they would just, and then the next person would come up. It was a gun that shot water, pressurized water, that somehow permeated the skin. But each time, enough material was sent back through the thing to be able to spread diseases. It was used in a clinic in California for, can't remember exactly what it was. But after this trial, this program that they used it for, like 200 some people ended up with hepatitis out of it. It's all just fucking ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as these clowns that come through here and cry and cry and cry.
Saying, but the fact that they did it.
Right. No, I know. So I'm watching. I was watching this video of this like hot girl, but she also has Tourette syndrome. And I was thinking like that shit would be fun. I think it'd be funny to have a girl that could just yell out obscenities all the time. The problem being she could say all kinds of horrible shit to you. And then you'd be like, what? And she'd be like, oh, that was just the Tourette's. Fuck you. Fuck you. Those are some big titties. That's a big bitch. That's a big bitch. Those are some big old titties. Fuck you. Fuck you. She's fucking hilarious. And she's hot. She's got a hot man. And they have a good marriage. They're a good couple and all that. Like it is what it is. But it's I was thinking about it and I was thinking I wonder if Tourette syndrome is going to have this long history, or if it's going to start to be documented circa 18. What's the number? 1890, 1880, something like that, right? So let's look into it and see what we can figure out. Oh no, the terrorists are coming. Are those ISIS terrorists? Let's see, what flag are they flying on their terrorist boat? Oh, it's the pirates. If you really think there's pirates out there, then why isn't Epstein Island being invaded by pirates? Look at this shit. Look at all these crybabies. Wah, he's not paying attention to me. Tourette syndrome, or simply Tourette's, is a motor disorder that begins in childhood or adolescence. So, not something you're born with.
Well, no, you're born with it. It just doesn't
manifest until after you've had a bunch of shots. No, I get it. I get it. Your Navy are the pirates. My Navy? I didn't know I had a Navy.
Wow.
I'm pretty fucking awesome, I guess.
Yeah.
It is characterized by multiple movement, motor tics, and at least one vocal phonic tic. Common tics are blinking, coughing, throat clearing, sniffing, and facial movements like tardive dyskinesia. Tardive dyskinesia comes from solely
antidepressants.
Vaccines.
Oh no, they said
injections, injectable shit. But you're right. No, it is the antidepressants. My bad. But it's completely pharmaceutical, and it's like, you know, you can't just stop taking it and then the shit goes away. You're fucked. It fucks up your brain. We got that bouillabaisse once we move the plate. Booty shake. Yeah. Oh yeah, don't I gotta do it the other way around, my bad. So let's see, I gotta go. Pull this up first. Right? Isn't that how I do it? Alright. Okay, I did it right. Alright. So we do the wiki first. And I had it right too. We do that, then we do that. We got that bouillabaisse. Move your up in your face. Yeah. All right, so we'll go back to here. Tourette syndrome. All right. Tics are typically preceded by an unwanted urge or sensation in the affected area known as the premonitory urge, can sometimes be suppressed temporarily, and characteristically change in location, strength, and frequency. Well, the thing I was noticing, like, about that girl I was watching, that's a big bitch, she kept saying. Well, that had to be after she saw, was it Eddie Murphy that said that shit? That's a big bitch. So obviously it was, and I was wondering, why are Tourette syndrome tics the vocal shit? Why is it never like they belt out math equations or helpful information? How come it's always something really fucking weird, negative, inappropriate? Right? Why is it that way? Is that the shit that goes through all of our heads at all the time, and it's just suppressed by our brain? Like that broad is severely affected by it. You know. Tourette's is at the more severe end of the spectrum of tic disorders. The tics often go unnoticed by casual observers. Other name: Tourette syndrome, Tourette's disorder, Giles Gilles, I don't know, de la Tourette syndrome, GTS, combined vocal and multiple motor tic disorder, de la Tourette. Oh, so here you go. Here's the guy. George Gilles de la Tourette.
They all look the same.
All look the same, all looking in the same direction. Always, like, we had better abilities to take pictures and shit, but they always take these shit pictures. They always seem to cut out the body so you can't really tell if he's got his hand in his shirt, you know. But born 1857, died 1904. So Tourette syndrome wasn't acknowledged, wasn't, documented. Nobody talked about it. It didn't have a name until somebody in the 1880s or so named it. Don't you think that's weird? Specialty: pediatrics, neurology, psychiatry, symptoms, tics, onset, typically in childhood. Again, after you've had your shots. Not saying shots will do that to everybody, but since we're all fucking different to begin with, we all have different chemical makeups. We we don't even have the same blood. You put the wrong blood type in somebody and it will kill them. It's not just blood is blood is blood. How is it we can't all have the same blood, but we can all have the same medications? Don't you think that's a little weird? I mean, that statement I just said is a big one, right? How come there's multiple types of blood, and the wrong blood will kill you, but we can all just have the same ingredient medications? Same doses? Don't you think that's pretty weird? Causes: genetic with environmental influences. It's a genetic thing with environmental influences. What do you think that is? What do you think that is? How it went to dubious. I love when people pop into a feed. They don't bother to hear what's being said. They just ask stupid questions. Uh, Medication, usually none, occasionally neuroleptics and noradrenergics. Prognosis: 80% will experience improvement to disappearance of ticks beginning in late teens. So would you say once like the initial influence has started to wear off? Nah. About 1% of children and adolescents, about 0.3 and 1% of the general population. Tourette's was once regarded as a rare and bizarre syndrome and has popularly been associated with coprolalia, 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 caprolalia, I don't know. The utterance of obscene words or socially inappropriate derogatory marks. We're going to have to look that one up too. It is no longer considered rare. About 1% of school-aged children and adolescents are estimated to have Tourette's. That's pretty fucking rare.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Though
it was very rare.
coprolalia occurs only in a minority. Huh?
It was very rare. So the fact that it's not anymore is crazy.
All that means is it was just not talked about. I mean, you can't compare what we have now to what it was. People just didn't report every little thing that happened back in the day. And a lot of times, if you had like a retarded kid or you had a kid with some sort of, issues or whatever, you just locked them in the fucking basement. That's what they used to do. Or they'd send them off to fucking asylums and shit. That was the solution. People are like, this guy's reading and I don't read so well and I don't like when he reads because that makes me feel stupid. There are no specific tests for diagnosing Tourette syndrome. It is not always correctly identified because most cases are mild and the severity of tics decreases for most children as they pass through adolescence. It's like puberty is like it like cleans you, It's like almost like a reset. And so puberty burns all this shit out of you and you grow and what did work on you in a small tiny dose before isn't going to work on that big body anymore. And it's been years and it's wearing off. Therefore, many go undiagnosed or may never seek medical attention. Extreme Tourette's in adulthood, often sensationalized in the media, is rare, but for a small minority, severely debilitating tics can persist into adulthood. Ugh. There is no cure for Tourette's and no single most effective medication. In most cases, medication for tics is not necessary, and behavioral therapies are the first line treatment. Education is an important part of any treatment plan, and explanation alone often provides sufficient reassurance that no other treatment is necessary. Other conditions such as ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder are more likely to be present among those who are referred to specifically specialty clinics than they are among the broader population of persons with Tourette's. So again, think about say 150 years ago, right? And think of what you think 150 years ago looked like. Obviously, don't go with what it actually looked like. But think about back in the day, somebody having OCD. How would they even survive? When you have OCD back in those days where you can't, like it's cold outside, right? And you got to go in and out of the door 15 times. How, you know what I mean? Like, You don't hear about this from back in these old stories. You never hear about other, these people that had this. And I wonder just how much of this is associated with vaccines. Just how many of these things, if there's a sudden rise in cases, explodes out of nowhere, how many of those you can attach to a program? Oh, I got death threats today by the junkie pedophile. He's the guy that goes by savior to believer, survivor to believer, because Jesus helped him stop doing drugs, and so he's mad at me. These co-occurring conditions often cause more impairment to the individual than the tics. Hence, it is important to correctly distinguish co-occurring conditions and treat them. Tourette syndrome was named by French neurologist Jean-Martin Charat for his intern, George Gilles de la Trotte, who published in 1885. 1885!
Published. There's a lot of publishing.
What the hell? Published in the science journals, too. Lots of science journals and shit like that. Who published in 1885 an account of 9 patients with convulsive tic disorder. While the exact cause is unknown, it is believed to involve a combination of genetic and environmental factors. What do they keep meaning by environmental factors? Like it's cold outside? What environmental factor could affect that? What are we talking about? The mechanism appears to involve dysfunction in neurocircuits between the basal ganglia and related structures of the brain. Classification, characteristics, causes, mechanism. Diagnosis, management, prognosis, epidemiology, and history. It takes me that long to get to history. Let's see.
Is that Charles actually playing the guitar?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's him. When he was young, he used to play guitar a lot until the thing happened, and then that's what made him Scary Charles. He wasn't like that. He used to play guitar and shit all the time.
Right. I was just wondering. I knew he played. I just was wondering if he actually played that part.
Jesus and magic are not the same thing, not real. Or are the same thing, not real. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I do think that there are people out there that can figure out how to access different parts of their brain. And once they do, maybe they can do other things. But I just think it's so rare. It's hard to actually completely believe it, because why didn't they take the James Randi Prize? James Randi was offering $1 million for a very long time to anyone who could prove that they had psychic abilities in any form. And nobody ever took that prize. That's kind of strange. The strange thing about magic is, like, again, accessing different parts of your brain. Even guys that specialize in like hand tricks and shit, they're moving so fast that your eyes can't pick it up. That's pretty fucking incredible. That you can practice and teach your brain or teach your body to be able to move in ways that people can't even pick that shit up. Yeah. Catchers catching the ball, or goal. I think a goalie is actually the hardest job in all of sports. Hockey goalie. These guys are fucking insane, and they've done studies to show that these guys have next to cat-like reflexes, where they're doing shit that just don't make no sense.
The thing is they're not born with that. It's a skill that they hone.
Maybe. I mean, there's got to be something to it. To be at that level, thousands of people go in to be goalies, and they might be okay. But to be NHL level good, there has to be something else going on there. You can't just train yourself to be that good. Sure, but to stop an Al McInnes slap shot, catch it in your fucking... Haha, I got your shit, bitch. Like, that's crazy. How do you even see it?
Does McKinnon still hold the record?
I don't know.
It was McGinnis.
No, Al McInnes. Mm-hmm.
I had traded.
You're talking about like 120 mile an hour puck. This isn't even like a round baseball. It's an oblong, weird ass shape, and it's. Think about those guys. Think about those guys like what's his name, that used to play without masks. What's the picture? What's the guy's name? Am I thinking? Can't think of it now. The Red Wing goalie. No, God, no. Yeah, there's a famous picture of a goalie. You just have to look it up. Goalie's face. And they show like all the stitches he had. His whole shit's just fucked up. Oh yeah, thank you. So this is a picture of them. I guess they were sitting around doing a demonstration of Tourette's. But I always love these old pictures because look at the background. Who built these magnificent buildings that this shit's taking place in? This is Jean-Martin Charrat, was a French neurologist and professional who named Tourette syndrome for his intern George Giles de la Tourette. In a clinical lesson at the Salpêtrière in 1877, André Berrutelet portrays a medical lecture by Charrat, the central standing figure, and shows de la Tourette in the audience, seated in the first row, wearing an apron. So somebody was like, yeah, we need to paint a picture of that. How long do you think that took? And I guarantee this is one of those fucking paintings where the brush strokes can't be seen. They don't know how they got the pigments. They don't know how they got the color. They don't know how they fucking painted it. Most of you just don't realize, like, that's the history. That's the narrative when it comes to most of what is available to us from those times, where we just have no idea. They go, yeah, we don't know. We don't know how they did it. We don't know what they did. And we're just like, yeah, okay, let's trust the people who tell us that when it comes to other shit. Yeah, let's trust the history we're given. Let's trust the Bible narrative, because that one makes sense. Look, Mom, there's an airplane up in the sky. Mom, there's an airplane up in the sky. Mother, do you think they'll drop the bombs? Mother, do you think they'll like this song? I haven't heard that. I haven't listened to that song in fucking like decades. I can't tell you the last time I heard that song. It's a great song. I recorded 4 yesterday. Gonna do more today. I'm gonna do a cover of a song you would never expect me to do. It's a newer song too, by a new artist who's disappeared. How did Lord just disappear? She's a fugly looking broad too. Oh boy. But we'll never be royals. So did she just stop making music? Like, I never understand when they tell me the artist doesn't make music. How are you an artist that gets to the position where I know who you are and you don't produce? You're not making new songs every other week, whatever. Oh, okay. A French doctor, Jean-Marc Gaspard Itard. Gaspard Itard.
These words fly from your speaker. You sound like Beaker.
Seriously, his name is Gaspard Itard. Jean-Marc Gaspard Itard. Reported the first case of Tourette syndrome in 1825. Oh, well then that's fine then, right? That completely debunks everything I'm saying. Describing the Marquise de Dampierre, an important woman of nobility in her time. But you don't want any more information on that, so we're just gonna jump ahead. Fucking 60 years. In 1884, because we're just jumping 60 years, Jean-Martin Charcot, an influential French physician, assigned his student, an intern, Georges Gilles de Tourette, to study patients with movement disorders at the Salpêtrière Hospital, with the goal of defining a condition distinct from hysteria and chorea. It's chorea. But it's hysteria. This is just another one of those things that's chalked up to hysteria. You know, something that doesn't exist anymore. The people that a lot of these people that were diagnosed with hysteria were those, you know, who talked about how they remember a different time. They don't feel like the world they live in is their world. This new thing that we live in, like they're pining for a time that supposedly didn't exist. And the funny thing is, they all have that same sort of thing. How could they all be pining for the same time that didn't exist? Arisha fears a racist. Are you okay? Are you okay? Is you straight, dog? Sounded like it. Oh, by the way, if you're watching, like, share, and sub, they're clearly fucking with the feed today. So help a halfie out. Get to sharing. It's the good stuff. It's the pow pow bing bang boom. It'll ground you to your room. Have your brain going kaboom. You'll say it's time to work and you'll be like, too soon. You ever looked into looms? Speaking of rhymes. You ever look at the old looms and what we're told how they used to work? There's a great video about it. About how these are some of the first analog computers that are just there in our history and we don't even think about it. We don't even know about it. And the manufacture of these items, just like the old school pianos, just makes no sense. Ugh.
Not willing forgiving, but leaving behind. Squeezing the lines while changing
All right, for his stereo. In 1885, Giles de la Tourette published an account in study of a nervous affliction of 9 people with convulsive tic disorder, concluding that a new clinical category should be defined. The eponym was bestowed by Charcot after and on behalf of Giles de la Tourette, who later became Charcot's senior resident. Following, that's so much better. The 19th century descriptions, a psychogenic view prevailed, and little progress was made in explaining or treating tics until well into the 20th century. The possibility that movement disorders, including Tourette syndrome, might have an organic origin was raised when an encephalitis lethargica epidemic from 1821. That's sleeping sickness. This is directly connected to sleeping sickness.
Encephalitis, isn't that?
Encephalitis lethargica. That's what they called it.
Isn't that fluid on the brain?
But this is what we were just talking about. What are the what are the fucking possibilities? That I even started this video saying, I wonder if this has to do with the sleeping sickness. This is fucking wild. If you are still putting shit into your children's body or yourself, you are a fucking fool. You're a fucking fool.
Definitely fucking scary.
I shouldn't be able to do this. I shouldn't be able to just look up their information and then be like, hey, this is fucking obvious. I should look it up and be like, oh, damn it. I'm stupid.
We were marketed to that vaccines are good. They do good, they cure, they prevent, they make better. Never in any of the marketing campaigns was there ever, they could be dangerous.
Or if they were,
I mean, it was a side note that was over,
the danger was like maybe experiencing some nausea, mild headache, soreness at the injection site.
It might be something more severe, but that's only really rare if you're already really fucked up. You know what I mean? So like,
or they'll mention it and they'll be like, yeah. In some cases, patients end up with GBS, and you go, what the fuck is GBS? I don't know what that is. Oh well, no big deal.
Because of that, though, when people read shit about epidemics, they don't look for the cause being something the doctors gave us.
Okay, well that was something you got away with for most of history, and I believe it. I mean, I remember those days.
And the people that write the books are still alive today. They need to die. When they die, more correct information will be released to, general public.
If we do that, if we overthrow who controls what information we get. Otherwise, they're just going to keep teaching the same bullshit. The possibility that movement disorders, including Tourette syndrome, might have an organic origin was raised when an encephalitis lethargica epidemic from, now it's saying from 1918. Remember, it's actually from 1915, but hey, to 1926. It actually went to 1929.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
That.
Yeah, it was tough. And rabies. Yeah, rabies was the first.
Sorry, Dave. I'm too cold to give you enough to say.
Back to the top. To the question I asked, would death by cop touch someone half black as quick as the
During the okay, so we're just gonna skip again.
burning the crowd?
This is the history of this shit. I'm not like looking up just the basic. I'm trying to find the history of it. During the 60s and 70s, as the beneficial effects of haloperidol on ticks became known, the psychoanalytic approach to Tourette syndrome was questioned. The turning point came in 65 when Arthur K. Shapiro described the father of modern tick disorder. Tick disorder research used haloperidol to treat a person with Tourette's and published a paper criticizing the psychoanalytic approach. Now, in 1965, how did they find haloperidol works?
That knocks them the fuck out.
But how did you find out it works? It sounds like almost like Halidol, which Halidol is the one that really fucks you up. But this whole idea, like let's just think about it. I mean, it's right here. It's right here. And again, this is that thing that like it's just like the crack recipe or the meth recipe. It's just like any of these drug recipes that exist. How did they test it? How did they figure out that no, it's too much endophycolaline and we need some more bapatupatine? Let's take it from 15% endococalacoline to 5 to 12%, and then let's take that 3% that we took out and we'll add more bapalucaline. Like, how the fuck did they figure that out? And who were they testing it on back then? Over and over again, they were just testing it. Like, can you imagine, especially when there was no communication system for people to be able to tell on them?
Yep. All those psych patients.
Not just psych patients, but the people in the asylums that still existed. Yeah.
The ones that got tested on.
Right. And who's there to watch over them?
Nobody. Those fucking people.
Especially,
Non-verbal ones.
right, but especially the ones, like, it's one thing when they get it right, but up until they get it right,
Oh, yeah.
and then how do they even know?
With everything that's happening all over this planet, chemtrails, GMO,
Long-term side effects, any of it. They don't know any. How do we get to that point?
closed doors,
Oh, well, they tested on animals. Yeah.
protect them
Great.
from people
That
that were
makes me
supposed
feel
to
so
hold
much
at a
better.
higher
Thanks.
standard than any.
But even then, you think I would much rather them tested on animals than us. But you think like, what were 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, 1800s laboratories? What did they look like? What were the sanitary conditions? What were the sanitary requirements back then? They didn't even have rubber gloves.
Ever watch TV? Ever
It's funny how many people from back in the day worked in fields that today the people like have to be completely hazmat suited, and yet those people didn't die from it. Why didn't they die from it?
thumbing through rich magazines, your fat ass pushes their beat account, where your head's filled with doubt.
Did you ever hear the story of the, I forget what the actual name of it is, but the radium, it was like a company that painted watch faces with a glow-in-the-dark radium type paint,
Oh, yeah.
and they would hire women because they had smaller hands. And one of the things that the women would do was they would take the brush and twizzle it in their mouth to get the best point they could. And so over and over again, they're putting it in their mouths to the point where their teeth started to glow. and the people themselves would glow at night. And of course, people were like, "Oh wow, that's cool. I want some glow in the dark." Until people's shit started falling out. And then when it did come out that it was this horrible thing, it just got swept under the rug. Shh, 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 shh. In 1975, it doesn't sound like there's very much that goes into this. Hey, look, it's Coach Pedo. Coach Jewish Pedo. Coach Pedostein. What's up, Coach Pedostein? As long as you're here and not trying to find children, I'll take it. Whatever you have to get. Just stay here and don't be on the hunt, okay? Coach Pedostein. 1975, the New York Times headlined an article with bizarre outbursts of Tourette's disease victims linked to chemical disorder in brain. And Shapiro said, the bizarre symptoms of this illness are reviled only by, revealed? Revealed? Riveled? Rivaled? Rivaled?
Rival.
What is wrong with me? Rivaled only by the bizarre treatments. Isn't that funny how sometimes you'll be doing it and like the word just doesn't click in your head? Like, what the fuck? I know that word. Bizarre treatments used to treat it. The bizarre symptoms of this illness are only rivaled by the bizarre treatments used to treat it. What kind of bizarre treatments were being used to treat it? During the 1990s, a more neutral view of Tourette's emerged. It's yours.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is your long, straight, purple hair. It's everywhere. I always get it from the car. Little clumps all over, and they stick to my pants, and then I look like I got fucking
Hairy pussy hanging out of your pants.
hairy junks. During the 90s, with a genetic predisposition is seen to interact with non-genetic and environmental factors. The fourth revision of the DMS 1994 added a diagnostic requirement and marked stress. Blah, 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 blah. So that just, so there's very little information available, but the information that is available just coincidentally, happens to validate this crazy conspiracy theorist's ideas about connections to sleeping sickness and whatnot. Doesn't that seem, I don't know.
They accentuate times and make the lines.
I can go to Bubby's today.
The Garthok, they narfles, a tarbell on roids. Their Ackroyd is soy. They enjoy throwing salt.
It'll be fine.
The greats aren't the same. They came to explain the frame needs a change. What you might see as strange, they strange to contain. Their main claims the spotlight.
Where is the other part that I was going to look up?
They are the pilot, and when they're supplied with the right kind of gas, the fire ignited makes dust out of glass. Whatever your class, half empty or
Attention on the service at what the fuck? Where is it?
their fate begins and singes your hairline, since they are the chair behind.
Oh, there it is.
You control, their hold is total, their mold can't.
Coprolalia. Coprolalia? Coprolalia. Coprolalia? The word that's used to describe or to classify the thing where you scream words out is one of those. It's like having lisp be the word for lisp. Why would you do that to people with a lisp? That's so shitty. I have a severe lisp. Like, the fuck do you do to somebody like that? That's terrible. It's not very nice. It's not very nice.
I didn't even think about that. That's funny.
Did you guys see all the Super Bowl commercials about Jewish this and Jewish that? Boy, howdy. There were a lot of you better be nice to Jews commercials. That is definitely an interesting observation. I mean, in a country where black people were literally hanged from trees and shit, and the racism is still extremely prominent to this day. You get Ferguson, you get, I Can't Breathe, you get all these stories that come out. The commercials on TV are about, we need to protect the Jews. The ones that are actually committing genocide right now. The ones that are responsible for all the negatives, the Epsteins, that's who needs the protection. Not all the Asians that Trump, incited dumbass white people to attack with his China flu. China flu. He reminds me of Jamie Foxx, Living Color. What was her name? When he would play that character. Hey. Hey. What the fuck was her name? If you go watch those nowadays, like seriously, it's so mean. It's so mean and fucked up that used to be presented. Like Handyman. Remember, they even made a movie out of Handyman. Damon Wayne doing like this. Me. He used to do that shit like as a joke. I know. Because I was in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. We used to emulate the fuck out of that shit. We thought it was hilarious. Hated it. Everything about that show was basically black people making fun of the things the Jews don't like. Dance monkeys dance kind of thing. There was the one time, it was like a 3-part thing when Blaine, Damon Wayne's character, a light fell from the rafters and hit him in the head. And when he woke up, he was a normal dude. And Antoine Merriweather would like try to hit him with stuff to try to get him back. And then at one point he hits him, like he punches him in the face. And Damon Wayne starts crying. Oh, and then he's there. Oh, he's back. And it's raining, man. Hallelujah. Go watch any of those, man. Go watch In Living Color just go watch In Living Color. And I mean, you guys are white, dumb, homophobic, sexist, racist piece of shits, right? So you'll probably still laugh. But for the rest of us, man, it's hard. It's fucking hard. They are.
Most of the time you're going, oh my god, seriously?
We thought but it's more like we thought this was funny. Like this was funny. This is just mean. It's just mean and weird. Yeah, well, because the Jews told us that's how we were supposed to be. If you watch old TV shows, you see it consistently.
And the kids today, they're just as mean, it's just in a different way.
No, they're not. Not even close. Not even close. Just think about Ev. Ev would have had to go to a different school. Because Ev would have been eaten alive when we went to school. The kid that talks like a baby.
I don't know.
Nathan's friend. He's got some sort of disorder where he has a little baby voice.
Oh, that's Nick, my cousin Nick's son, Mason. He's got that little. You didn't notice when he was here.
Yeah, no, this is different. He talks like that because he just has a, this kid has a disorder. This kid has a disorder. But, like, they're all super protective of him. He never got made fun of. To the point where he actually walked around with this sense of entitlement. Like, he knew he could get away with shit that other people couldn't. Fire Marshal Bill. Let me tell you something. But Fire Marshal Bill isn't offensive. Fire Marshal Bill is just stupid. Fire Marshal Bill is not objectifying someone. What about the homeless guy? When Damon would play the homeless guy and he'd pick up the pickle jar and it looked like poop and everybody would be, oh! But he would talk about how, and I got this nice new refrigerator box. I based my drunk person impersonation off of Damon Wayans doing it. Like the idea that a homeless person is funny. It's awful. It's really fucking awful. Give me 3 snaps in a Z formation. I remember all that shit because we used to make fun of it so much. But like nowadays, again, the kids in school, if the kid's gay or whatever, they don't even think about it, which is the ideal thing. Gay shouldn't be special treatment. It shouldn't matter. Who gives a shit who you like to make out with? That's how you see that the progress is actually happening. Even the old comedians like Red Fox and Richard Pryor had racist jokes poking fun. Red Fox and Richard Pryor, I'm glad you brought them up. They are both not funny. Richard Pryor is considered this, like, legend. And he just wasn't funny. Dice Clay's another one. Go watch Andrew Dice Clay shit.
Oh, it's ick.
Andrew Dice Clay is as creepy as you can. It's a Jew who wanted to be a big band leader. Big band music. That was him. But it didn't work. And so he came back home, created this character based off of Vinnie Barbarino, Fonzie, Jerry Lewis, Belch, and I forget the fourth one. But it's hey, I'm a Jew, but I'm playing this Italian mook piece of shit. Hey, so I got my finger in this broad's ass, right? And I'm like, hey, yo, and she's like, why do you got your finger in my ass? Like, who the fuck? Hey, I'm gonna make nursery rhymes funny, ha. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack's in the hospital with a French fried dick. Oh! Here, wait. Because I'm cool, right? I smoke my cigarette. That makes me look cool, right? Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
Ew.
Hey, baby. Oh, he's so fucking cringe.
Gross.
But if like Richard Pryor is one of those ones, I just can't even do it justice. I have to look it up. So,
see, back then I think it was all about the shock factor. As long as you had the shock factor,
no, because anybody could have done it.
Yeah, but
Anybody
people
could have done the shock factor, but they weren't allowed to.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So only a couple of people, a couple of these step and fetch-its were allowed to do that. Because, saying fuck, saying shit, that's not hard to do.
It was translated as they had the balls to do it, not that they were allowed to do it. These guys actually had the balls to do this.
Well, no, for black people, it was more just black people on TV. My dad would tell me that when he was a boy, if a black person was on TV, those with the TV in the neighborhood would go to the door and be like, black person on TV, and everybody would come to see it. Because it was so uncommon. That's why you get shows like Good Times, where you have a black project family that just can't get out of there, and the entire show is written by Jews. produced, written by, directed by. The only people that aren't Jewish are the black actors being forced to say shit they fucking hate. Old Mother Hubbard went to a cupboard to fetch a poor dog a bone. But when she bent over, Rover took over and gave her a bone of his own. Oh! So the woman got fucked by the dog?
And that's supposed to be funny.
Hey, you fucking, ugh, what's wrong with you?
It's gross.
But see, listen, this is Richard Pryor's narrative. You guys don't know this. What you know about Richard Pryor is that he was raised in a brothel. His mother was a prostitute and he was raised in a brothel. That's the extent of it. You don't understand how fucked up it actually is. And I don't mean fucked up like terrible. I mean fucked up like it don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. How did he get there? Because again, if you watch old Richard Pryor stuff, the oldest Richard Pryor stuff, he wasn't that guy. He wasn't the fuck shit guy. He was just a comedian, a bad comedian. He would do impressions a little bit. But like if you look up the Richard Pryor performances on Sullivan Show, it's as white bread dumb shit as you get. He's not saying anything shocking.
One stand-up show one day and let a few F words slip out and got a big reaction. It was like, okay.
Or it's just all orchestrated. Richard Pryor was clearly a gay man and wasn't allowed to be because for some reason, again, that dude was portrayed as the symbol of black masculinity.
Oh yeah, he's a sexy motherfucker.
And you're telling me he's not a halfie?
Oh no.
You're telling me he's not a halfie? Really?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think he's a halfie at least, maybe a 3/4, but that dude's got white in him. So his name, let's just think about his name. Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor. You know a bunch of black people with 5 fucking names? You did mortgages. Did you see a bunch of black people with a bunch of five fucking names? Did you ever see it? No. Did you do any mortgages for black people? How many do you think you'd say you did?
I would say 70% of my...
No, how many mortgages?
I have no idea.
Think about it. 100, I mean, you're right. Okay, underwriter, all of it. You're processing how many loans a day?
Oh, like I'm trying to figure out how many years I was in the business to even...
Well, when you're processing, did you ever come across...
I didn't process, I underwrote.
Or what the fuck ever? Did you ever come across Richard Franklin Lennox Pryor?
No.
Black people with 5 names?
No.
No.
I already said that, no.
No. Do you get it? There's already something going on here. Richard Franklin, good old Ben Franklin, Lennox of all things. Lennox is like a British name. Lennox Tom, even though Lennox Lewis was Canadian. Lennox Thomas Pryor, born December 4th, 1940, died December 10th, 2005. Just after his 65th birthday. If you see him before he died, he looked like he was 95 years old. Didn't he have MS real bad too?
Yeah, that's right.
Weird how that MS didn't show up for the longest time, huh?
A lot of stuff too.
Well, the thing is, when he caught himself on fire, it was because he was freebasing. He was smoking crack before it was crack. And he somehow lit his own fucking shit on fire. And then went running down the street. What do you think a man with the whole fucking world at his hands? You know, this is one of the most famous black men in the world. Rich as fuck, all that. And he's freebasing fucking cocaine? Let's see. He was known for reaching a broad audience with his with his trenchant observations and storytelling style. Pryor won a primetime Emmy. Blah blah blah. I don't care.
Being as vulgar as he possibly could. Good for
Right,
you.
being the guy that like.
Talent.
But he's the guy that's appeasing white people, right? He's being what white people think black people are, and so he's allowed. Listen to the names of his Pryor's body of work includes numerous concert films and recordings. He won the Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album for, guess what it's called? That Nigger's Crazy. That Nigger's Crazy in 1974. That's what he titled his album. And people are like, ooh, that's so daring. Ooh, that's so this. Ooh, that's not. That's
You were back in that time, that was
That's
something
catering to the fucking system. Who do you think said that about him? You think it was his other black people?
Oh God, no! This is how they think of us anyhow. So
Right.
let's give them something that they want.
This
Get the white people to
appeals.
buy it.
This is where you're a white person and you see that and you go, "Oh wow, he's probably going to talk bad about black people."
I mean, that was a marketing tool.
Then that was in 1974. Is it something I said in 1975? Bicentennial Nigger in 1976. Richard Pryor live on Sunset Strip, 82. Richard Pryor here and now, 83. And notice how as he gets older and more established, that doesn't happen anymore. But his first ones, the one that got him the Grammy and everything,
For the attention.
well, that was the one that like got him in. He played the game. He did what he was supposed to do. And literally, his first comedy album, I don't know if that's the first comedy album actually, but it's the earliest one listed, won him a Grammy for Best Comedy Album called That Nigger's Crazy. Then, Is It Something I Said? Then Bicentennial Nigger. 2 out of the first 3, he's calling himself a nigger to fucking, to fit in. To give him that's what he needed to do to be allowed to have the position he was in. Do you not see something wrong here? Okay, so here we go. Early life. This is the part where I'm talking about where, okay, I'm wrong, right? He's not a completely manufactured plant playing the role, given the position, and he worked really, really hard and pulled himself, through his talent and hard work, okay? We'll go with that. Pryor was born on December 1st, 1940 in Peoria, Illinois, next to Wayne, and grew up in a brothel run by his grandmother, Marie Carter. Gotta fit that narrative, right? They like the idea of a black man being raised in a brothel.
We have a first lady that was a whore, so.
His alcoholic mother, Gertrude L. Nee Thomas, was a prostitute. His father, Leroy Buck Carter Pryor. How would you know who his fucking father was if she was a prostitute? His father, Leroy Buck Carter Pryor. So we know his mother's name, and that's it. His father, Leroy Buck Carter Pryor, born June 7, 1915, died September 27, 1968. We get a bunch more about him. Was a former boxer, a hustler, and a pimp. After Gertrude abandoned him when he was 10, Pryor was raised primarily by Marie, a tall, violent woman who would beat him for any of his eccentricities. So basically, all of his flamboyant gayness, she kept trying to beat it out of him. Pryor was one of 4 children raised in his grandmother's brothel. He was, okay, now listen to how they do this jump cut bullshit. This is like a fucking Marvel movie. He was sexually abused at age 7 and expelled from school at age 14. Hey, let's just jump through that. That's probably not important. Now we go immediately. Expelled from school at 14. Pryor served in the U.S. Army from 58 to 60. So at 18, he joined the Army. He served from 58 to 60, but spent virtually the entire stint in an Army prison. That's why nobody knows. That's why there's no records. That's why there's nobody that's like,
I was in prison, do they say?
oh yeah, we're going to get to it. But just think about it. Think about it. You want to create a backstory for this man. And you have to account for the fact that no one saw him. You know, where are all the people that were in that world? They weren't there. And the way that you do it is you say you do the jump cuts, but you say, you know, oh, he was in the military, but he was in the prison. Oh, according to a 1999 profile article about Pryor in the New Yorker, it's the best. Pryor was incarcerated for an incident that occurred while he was stationed in West Germany. Angered that a white soldier was overly amused at the racially charged scenes of Douglas Silk's film Imitation of Life, Pryor and several other soldiers beat and stabbed him. Several other black soldiers beat and stabbed him, although the soldier survived. So you have a narrative where the guy who is the crazy nigger, the bicentennial nigger, is going to be so upset at white people laughing at a black like, that's your whole identity, isn't it? But him and a group of black men beat and stabbed a white man for laughing at jokes and did a year and a half or so, 2 years in a military prison and then was let out. No problem. That's bullshit. Gets better. So that was the end of that paragraph, right? Next paragraph. He was a member of the Henry Brown Lodge, number 22 in Peoria, where he became a Prince Hall Freemason. And that's it. That's the end of his history. Now we go to his career. Yeah, this is early Richard Pryor. There's nothing like dangerous or that. And again, that's a happy looking guy. Not a full on happy, but he's a very happy-ish looking guy. In 1963, okay, so he was in the prison from 58 to 60. He, I guess, gets out, becomes a Freemason. And 3 years later, we don't know what he did in between, but 3 years later, he moves to New York City and began performing regularly in clubs alongside performers such as Bob Dylan and Woody Allen. That's how that works, right? You just move to New York and immediately you're in the trenches with the best of the best.
Well, were they the best of the best back then?
63, by 63, Dylan had a name. So did Woody Allen. On one of his first nights, he opened for singer and pianist Nina Simone at New York's Village Gate. This guy is opening for Nina's. No, he wasn't fucking there. No, they say here. You think he was fucking Nina Simone? Here we go. Simone recalls Pryor's bout of performance anxiety. He shook like he had malaria. He was so nervous. I couldn't bear to watch him shiver, so I put my arms around him there in the dark and rocked him like a baby until he calmed down. The next night was the same, and the next and the next. I rocked him each time. Yeah, that's the broad. That's the dude she's fucking. There. He jumps to New York and is immediately opening for Nina Simone. How did he get that sort of Like, how? It's one of his first nights. There's not a plethora of other talent out there that could open it. And so I go to a Nina Simone concert, and I'm gonna be the opening act is Richard Pryor's comedy. Why would that be a thing? I'd be pissed off. I came here to hear some music, a female jazz singer, and I'm stuck listening to this guy's terrible comedy. He was awful.
He really is bad.
He was awful. Initially inspired by Bill Cosby, Pryor began as a middle-brow comic with with material less controversial than what was to come. So that idea that his fame and fortune came from being the shocking guy, it wasn't there. He pandered, he catered to white people and their expectations of black people. But like Richard Pryor, again, there's that one thing, he's doing one of his comedy specials, and somebody says something like, I don't remember what they say, something that rhymes with dick, blah, blah, blah. And he said, blah, 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 my dick. And everybody just started laughing. He said, my dick. He began appearing regularly on television variety shows such as The Ed Sullivan Show, Merv Griffin Show, and The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. I thought this was like the militant black man who hated Whitey because Whitey kept the black man down and all that shit. Sure seems like he was on all of the biggest shows of the day almost immediately. And again, like, if it's somebody like that, where they are immediately thrust into the spotlight, then their work should stand the test of time. To have a story that no one else has, you should be able to go look at it now. Like, if I go watch Bill Cosby himself, to this day, it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's fucking, like, it's really fucking funny. Especially now that I'm a parent.
Right. Make sure you use soap. I mean, the whole thing.
The whole thing. He doesn't swear. He's not doing anything ridiculous. I mean, he's ridiculous, but...
Yeah, I don't like him as a person, but that shtick
right.
is
That's
funny.
Comedic genius.
Yes.
You go watch...
Anybody will laugh.
Anything from...
All kids.
You
not black, not white.
One of the best, though, is actually Patrice. Because Patrice says shit that women are not supposed to like, but you will. One of the... Oh, please, you're crazy.
I mean, he's funny. I'm not saying that, but...
He's
goes
brilliant.
Back to the shock factor.
No, it doesn't. He's brilliant. His shit is brilliant. One of the most brilliant things Patrice ever did was he flipped it on women. He said, all right, let me ask you this, women. He asked the audience. Let's just say you got in an accident. And because of that accident, it fucked your pussy up. You could never have sex anymore. Your pussy's fucked up. What would you do to keep your man's interest? That's how he worded it. You heard, suck his dick, take it in the ass. Those were the answers that were given. And Patrice said, look, I just gave you guys an opportunity to explain your worth. And you siphoned it down to your 3 holes. That's all you guys are, is 3 holes. None of you said, oh, I might learn to play video games. Oh, I might start, being nicer to him, whatever it might be. It was never your thought, oh, maybe I'll learn to take interest in some of the things he does. What? None of you say anything like that. You're just going, well, I fuck my mouth and my butt, I guess. Patrice never said anything about how would you keep your man sexually.
Yeah, but that's what it insinuates when you're talking about
It's
that.
not. That's
Totally insinuates.
that's just how you take it. And the
Knowing
thing
that's
about
the most important thing to most men.
it's not the
all
most
men.
important thing to most men. It's just that's what you dumb girls think. If it was just about sex, then all you would have to do was fuck a dude every once in a while and you'd keep him happy. But that's not how it works. And it's so telling, but it's so fucking shitty the way that they do that to us. If we lump them together like that, if we just say shit, generalize them like that, they get so upset. But no, that's all men wanted. That's all men want. Nah, nah, nah. That's not all men want. If that was all men wanted, you could fuck them and do whatever you wanted and they wouldn't care. You could go fuck other people. As long as you were fucking them, what would they care? All they care about is getting that nut, right? And anytime you try to say to women, hey, like, you guys have more to offer than just sex. We like you more than that. They always go, nah. Basically, like, why would you? Why would you like us? That's all we're good for. Women are so fucking brainwashed. It's so disgusting. Women don't want to take responsibility for why men are so fucked up. Women are so fucked up because of men. Solely because of men. But men aren't fucked up because of what women do. No. And women don't play games with men all the time. Women don't string men along. Women aren't the ones that fuck every man. Every man starts off being like, you know what? I'm not going to be like that. I've seen all those movies where the asshole gets the girls and all that. I don't think that's true. I bet if I'm nice to them, I'm just nice to them and I respect them and I do all the things that they all bitch about all the time. I'll open the door for them. I'll respect their opinions. I'll chew with my mouth closed. I'll hold the door and let them go first. And
Some other girl puts her pussy in his face and he goes and fucks that and cheats on her.
you see how disgusting and broken
That's
she
how
is?
that shit works.
Yep, that's how that shit works. A girl just puts her pussy in the guy's face and he just goes and cheats on her. See what I mean? Do you see how awful that is? Can you imagine being with that? Can you imagine how difficult it is? Yeah, maybe it's you. Maybe
not me.
right. It has nothing to do with who you are. It's just your pussy must not be good enough. And the men get the pussy put in their face. Apparently they get pussies put in their face and they just take it. You don't even realize what you say about yourself when you say those things. But that's it. That's the typical woman's perspective right there.
Friends and
That's the typical. Yup, through friend. Yup. Because you guys are so honest with each other and you say to each other, hey, maybe it was you. Do you ever think maybe he cheated on you because of what you did? Because of how you treat him? Because you have that fucked up attitude that permeates everything in your life? Do you ever think maybe he just got sick of your shit? No, that couldn't possibly be it. The other girl just put her pussy in his face. She wouldn't even let me finish my point. Interrupted me to say nope, and then the girl just puts her pussy in the face, and the guy just right there. That's such an awful, that's such an ugly perspective. Yep, and it's all the men that did that. Yep, that's nothing. Again, can you imagine the arrogance? And I guess having been cheated on a whole bunch of times, I don't even know, but having been cheated on a whole bunch of times and not think it has anything to do with you, you just blame the other people every time. Can you imagine how arrogant you have to be to say shit like that? Wasn't anything I did. I was perfect. Maybe not. maybe. And believe it or not, Angela doesn't believe it, but believe it or not, there are plenty of dudes out there who don't cheat on their wives. There are plenty of dudes out there who don't even cheat on their wives even when it gets fucked up. But nope, none of them are like that, right? None of them. Again, she lots of times she'll bring up like, well, the kids that I hung out with in school were like that. So you hung out with a group of assholes then. Because the guys I hung out with, we weren't like that. And to think just to think that anybody, if you take high school relationships seriously, you're a fucking tool. You're a clown shoe. These are fucking high school relationships. Oh, the high school boy cheated on you. Oh. He just discovered pussy. The fuck do you expect? One of the things that females love to overlook.
I think that's the most important thing to them. That's a fucked up psychology right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Why do you think we think guys look at that?
You're talking about high school boys.
That's
high school boys.
About boys and girls, both ways.
If you're an immature dumbass, maybe. But, most of us realize that high school is just a 4-year period of your life. And that a lot of people change drastically after high school. So to say that somebody is the same person they were in high school is pretty fucking foolish. But this is like, there is no, when somebody is that broken, that sort of dysfunctional, there's nothing you can do. They don't think it's them. Right? They don't think that they do anything. They don't think like me. She doesn't think that I could be sick of dealing with that, of being blamed for these mythical dudes that she says are what every dude is, even though I personally, as a dude, did not experience that. But, she knows more than I do about fucking everything, so what am I arguing for? It's fucking crazy, man. They're nuts. They're nuts. And that sort of broken, dysfunctional way of looking at things is it's impossible to compete with. There's nothing you can do. We're all just big bad jerks, and the women are all just good women who don't do anything. They're just victims. They're just victims. But again, you have to be fucking like, what else do you base in your adult life on what happened in high school?
Not just that.
You said it was. That's where most of your that's where our opinion on things.
It forms a lot of shit.
It forms a lot of shit that I mean, again, it's not like you stop. You keep going and you realize like as a 50-year-old plus woman, would you even want to spend any time with high school boys? No. Do you actually have a high school boy, and there's really nothing even comparable about the way that we see the world compared to him. He's a dumb high school boy. To think that we're gonna take these relationships super seriously, and you're gonna let damage and, well, this one boy in 10th grade, he cheated on me, and I fucked up every relationship I've ever had since because of it. The fuck is wrong with you? It's just so nuts. It's just such a crazy way of looking at things. But it's very typical. It's very, very typical. Females are just, it's crazy. It's crazy how they have such sense of entitlement and superiority in some cases, but then when it works out for them, then they're all the poor pitiful and they're not responsible for any of it. Yeah, I was this cool chick who hung out. I didn't fucking... I wasn't clingy and shit. I was able to be criticized. We were able to have constructive conversation. And I was just this perfect broad, and some other chick just put her pussy in the dude's face. See, that's one of those things that, again,
guys that just discovered
that's
pussy, and yes, they'll
in
jump on it.
high school.
And early 20s.
In
It doesn't stop
high
when you
school.
graduate.
In
college.
In high school.
And early 20s.
Okay, so again,
not just high school.
Even if that's what you, because again, you're saying that's what happens 100% of the time. If that's what happens even 90% of the time until somebody's in their 20s, again, are you dating 20-year-olds? Are you like, why would anybody, I know lots of people who aren't, again, they're not who you describe. But the thing again that chicks love to,
undesirable nerdy guys that most
the chicks that the thing that chicks love,
sure.
yep, now it's undesired. Now see, there's always an excuse.
Of the world.
Yep, it's only the ugly guys. There's no good looking guys. No, all good looking guys are just bad, and they're gonna cheat on you. They're gonna, and it won't be because of anything you do. It's just because they're just guys who chase the pussy, and if a girl puts her pussy in his face, he's gonna take it. It's such insanity. The other thing that chicks love to overlook, and I've tried to say this like 5 times, but I keep getting stopped. The part that you guys love to overlook is that you've been dealing with people wanting to fuck you since you were a young girl. Just about every time a guy is nice to you, he's sort of offering it. He might be blatantly offering it, or he's sort of offering it. But you have this decision. You can make this thing happen or not. You make all that happen. And if you're the type of dumb broad that falls for, oh, you have the prettiest eyes. What's your name? Oh, that's a pretty name. If you're falling for that guy, that's on you. But most guys have never had the girl put her pussy in their face. Most guys have never been in a situation where a girl, they're just out and about, and some girl just was like, hey, you want some of this pussy? It doesn't work like that.
Right, because I meant literally. You're right.
Right, well, then it would have to be something else. If it wasn't the literal standpoint, then it would have to be there's something else that's happening. And I guarantee if you're a chick that's like awesome, a guy's not going to throw that away just to get some pussy. Just to get some pussy, especially if you're like you don't use pussy as currency like so many women do. Women are they're using every excuse they can to take it away. Oh, you said that takes away your pussy points. Now, shutting down the shop. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did that. Once the relationship happens, the woman stops being the girlfriend and starts being the standard. Like, what do you think? All the comedians throughout all of history, all saying the same shit. They're all lying. They're all lying. It's just, again, it's arrogance. There's not been a single thing that she's said that maybe women do. Every single point I've made has been denied, and it's all the guy's fault. All the guy's fault. Not one fucking thing I've said has been like, yeah, well, that might be true. No, I just got done saying, not anything I've said have you agreed to or acknowledged, and you've basically said it's everything I've said, you've said it's the guy's fault. Every single thing. You haven't acknowledged anything. The idea that girls have, that females have the ability to not make that happen, nope. If it's a good-looking guy, and I don't even know when the cutoff is, whatever you say the cutoff is. If he's a good-looking...
It doesn't matter. Jason was a good-looking guy.
Right, because of the guy that you knew.
He would bring a really great girl to, a function or whatever, and then he'd go and fucking cheat on her, and I'd be like, dude, you made a great... What is your problem? That's something different. Shit, man, she was willing to give it to me. Uh-huh. That's how... Yes, that was a very common mentality.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Jason did it. So if Jason did it, that represents the majority of men. And apparently, all of the men that you've ever attracted, but me, were like that. And that should tell you something.
No, that's not true. I'm not saying every guy I dated cheated on me. I never said that.
I didn't say that. I just said all of the guys that you attracted, whether they were your friends or whatever,
That I
had that mentality.
just the guys, just guys, not guys I attracted.
Guys you
Guys.
attracted to you. I'm not saying relationship. I'm saying the guys, your friends, the people that you hung out with, sound like they were real big assholes who fit in with what you think guys are. But to sit there and say that because of you, I mean, but this is, we do this a lot where you think your perspective or your experience represents the majority.
You
And it
do
doesn't.
That. Just because you're a decent guy, most guys are not decent guys.
Yeah, most guys are not
They are
decent
not.
guys. Yep.
They are not.
Yep. That is something if I can tell you,
I picked
if
you
you
because you're a
find
decent guy.
a woman who has that perspective, run the fuck away. Run away, because they'll still treat you like that. It's been 20 years and I still am constantly saying, well, it's not you. Well, then why do you treat me like that? You know, if you have somebody that's really, really broken like that, you're not going to fix it. I promise you. I promise. I beg you. Same thing. Women, if you've got a guy and he's got the mommy issues, the clingy issues, the whatever, you're not going to fix it. If somebody is riddled with dysfunction and insecurity and shit like that, you cannot fix it. You cannot make it better. Put your arrogance away, thinking, "Oh, well, if I just love this person and I just be the thing, it will not matter."
More importantly,
They will push you and push you and push you to try to prove their point.
if you're attracted to that dysfunction, that means you have your own to work on. So quit worrying about fixing theirs, work on your own.
Yeah, because, if you choose to spend your life with somebody, you guys shouldn't work with each other. You're separate islands, and you work on your own shit, and she works on her own shit. And that's going to make things work out well. Just fucking stupid, man. Such stupid, dysfunctional mentality.
If you work on yourself and make yourself the best,
Okay, so wait. You let yourself get to that point where you're dysfunctional. Then you're suddenly supposed to fix it without any help from the person you choose to spend your life with. Hey, let me ask you, how's that been working out for you?
Say without any. Look at how you twist that.
Well, no, that's what you do.
No.
Literally, you say it to me all the time. I'm not going to tell you that. I don't have to talk about that stuff with you. You say that stuff all the time. So I'm asking you, I personally am on the other side. I believe that as a partnership, we should be able to talk about anything. If I'm doing something, if you hear me say something wrong, you hear me do something, point it out. Fucking A. I'm not so insecure that if you tell me I'm doing something wrong, I just have to fight you to fight you. If it's wrong, it's wrong. There's no pride there. There's none of that bullshit. But if you honestly believe that you should work on yourself, well, yourself is what got you where you are in the first place. If you could just figure this shit out, you wouldn't be where you are. That's what dysfunction is. And to sit here and go, well, if you're not perfect, then you can't say anything to me. Like, what kind of insanity is that?
I was responding to you saying, if you see that person as those, run as fast as you can, and then look in the mirror because you were attracted to them.
Yes, because
so
you couldn't possibly be physically attracted to someone. You couldn't possibly be physically attracted to someone, then figure out who they are and go, oh shit, I can't fix this, I gotta go. Nope. If you're even physically attracted to someone and then they have issues, well, it must be you're so fucked up. Shut up. You know if you have a bunch of issues, if when you find out that person has all those issues, you stick around. That's when you know you need to look in the mirror. As soon as you get that red flag, as soon as they, they're fighting with their ex, and you're sitting right next to them, or whatever it may be. As soon as you get these little red flags, you gotta go. You're not gonna fix the situation. They are who they want to be. Especially once you're in your 20s and 30s and shit. That person, I remember my dad telling me that. You're not gonna fix any of it. Especially if the person's older than you. They are who they want to be. And especially if they believe that you don't work on it with the other person you're with, you're never going to get anywhere. Never. I firmly believe we lay out each situation. We lay it out. We say, okay, in this scenario, we could do this or we could do this. You have an option, or your whatever. Okay, so you throw your option in. Then you say your parts. I say my parts. We look at both, whatever, and we say, okay, which one works out the best in the long run for the situation? And then we go with it. It's not about your mommy issues. It's not about your blah, 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 this, that, crybaby. You got to win the argument. If your way's the right way to do it, let's do it. And if you can't look at things that way, you've got some work to do. If you can't tell somebody, like if somebody says, hey, you did this, and you can't even look at him and go, yeah, you're right, I did that. I'm sorry. If the person you're with doesn't make you want to do that, you're with the wrong person. Most of us are with the wrong person. We got into a situation when we were fucked up, when we were stupid, when we thought certain ways. We attracted the dysfunction. Why do you think they say most of us marry our parents? Right? Most of us, we marry our parents because we're trying to fix our parents subconsciously. We just thought, why did daddy do this? Why did mommy do this in this situation? If I was in that situation, I would have done things differently. And then you put yourself in that situation and you realize, maybe not. But at the same time, if you're someone that constantly defends their mommy or daddy, instead of going, yeah, you know what? They were pretty fucked up. Yeah, they were a person who was fucked up, who was raised by fucked up people, who was raised by fucked up people, who was raised by fucked up people. And they didn't have the options, the technology, the knowledge that we have today to be better. So I'm going to acknowledge that, my mom was a dumb girl. My dad was a dumb boy. Yes, they did this. Yes, they did that. If you're going to sit there and defend everything they do, because you're basically defending yourself, that's an issue. These are things you absolutely need to work on. And the thing is, it sucks because the more you pull out of it, the less baggage you have, the more confidence you gain from letting that shit go and move, the more attractive you're going to be across the board. The females that have their shit together and the females that don't, everybody's going to want a piece of the guy that has his shit together. So you're going to have your pick. It's up to you on whether or not you let mommy and daddy issues come through. And most of the time it's just based in arrogance. You see that red flag and you think that you're good enough. None of the other guys were good enough, but I'm good enough. That level of arrogance is what creates so many dysfunctional relationships from the guy's perspective. If you are, you bring up a lot of the dumb girl stuff and the chick literally fights you on all of it, yeah, some red flags right there. Right? Some real red flags there. It's all right in front of you. It's all right there. These aren't secrets. I haven't cracked some code. This is all just regular shit. Like, it makes sense. Like, if the person you're with, like if you're some dude, right, and all you want to do is watch sports and murder and dumb guy shows, and you have a woman that's like, hey, can we watch what I want to watch sometimes? And you don't want to even watch the stuff that she wants to watch with her, you're an asshole. You don't like that person. If you liked the person, you would like what they do. what they like. Not all of it. You know, you wouldn't completely change who you are. But you wouldn't just find reasons, find negatives, no, can't do your thing, can't do your thing, can't. No, you don't do that to somebody you like. You know, you don't find the excuse with someone you like. You don't find the negative. You overlook shit. You move past shit. When you don't like someone, you hang on to shit. And then you use it. You did this that one time. You said this that one time. Is that the way I say things all the time? No, but you said it one time. Okay. You know, there's so many red flags out there for all signs. Like, just look at dudes, man. Dudes are awful. But I stand by the idea that all dudes start off being good dudes. They try to be that good dude to a broad, and she walks all over him. She cheats on him. You know, if you don't like the way a dude is, look at the females in his life. Why is he like that? I guarantee just about every dude that's a player, especially like a player guy, he has that story of that chick that created that narrative. I've used this story many times. So I was...
So does that mean that Papa and your dad and uncles all had that happen to them?
Had what happen to them?
Somebody trampled all over them,
Yeah,
so they turned into
yeah.
horse?
Do you think that, like, I'm supposed to be like, hey, don't say that about my daddy? Yeah, of course that's what happened to them.
No, you said that was...
Of course that's what happened to them.
Instill that in you, and you just refused because you were a better person.
No.
That's how you've always portrayed
No, it wasn't because I was a better... No, I've never portrayed it that way. I've told stories many times about this. I guess... Oh my God, I can't even get my point out. Like, it's crazy. I've told the story many times about how, you know, I definitely... They used to try to warn me of this shit, yeah. Because of the experience. They all went through it. Yes, they all went through dealing with some crazy broad. My dad used to talk about this one broad. What was her name? Angie, actually. It was Angie. Angie used to come by, and she would just sit outside the house and lay on the horn until my dad would come out. And she would just terrorize the family. You know, but they all had that scenario. They all experienced something like that. But my you know, one of my experiences is, again, this is real world slapping me in the face. So I turned 19 here in Detroit. You could go to Canada and drink at 19. So I went to a bar with my buddy, and within a couple of minutes of getting there, some broad walks up to me. She's hot. She starts talking to me. We're talking. We're having a good time. She's like, hey, why don't you buy me a drink? I'm like, all right, cool. Went and I bought her the drink. Bought both of us a drink. She was like, all right, thank you. See ya. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? Well, I'll tell you what. I will never, ever buy a girl a drink again like that. Like, if I'm with you, yeah, I'll buy you a drink. We're having a good time. We're on a date. Whatever. That's fine. But I'm never going to do the, hey, can I buy you a drink type of thing. Never. Nothing. Because that's fucking stupid. I love how she's quiet until she can pop in and be like, so, was your dad like that and your papa and your uncles like that?
And you changed the whole way that you tell that story to fit this point.
Yep, now I'm changing things. Yep, I'm changing things.
You have always portrayed it like they were warned. They told me that's how they taught me.
I've never portrayed it. Yep.
Yes, you did.
Yes. I've never portrayed any. They tried to tell me, yes.
But now it's only because they got so hurt. That's why they did it. Okay.
No, that's... What are you talking about? You're the one that brought up them being hurt and shit. I agreed with you that happened to them. And they...
I did not say they were hurt. I said,
You said, "What did that happen to your papa?" And then that's why it turned all of them into whores like that. That's what you said. You know,
'Cause the
that's
answer
why.
is no.
That's why your mother.
They were just-
That's why your
that
mom
was
is
a
and your dad.
legacy
Your mom
that
was
they
such a
tried to
drunk.
Teach the next generation.
Jesus, can't even
pass
get it
on.
out. I
I'm
know.
trying to respond to you.
No, I was in the middle of talking. I was actually in the middle of talking.
Of trying to.
Now I'm trying to
words
do
in
some.
my
I'm
mouth.
trying to put words in your mouth.
Yes, because that's not what I was saying.
That's literally what you said. I was right about to tell the story. You interrupted me to say, so is that what happened to Papa and your dad and your uncles and whatnot to make them such whores when they got older? That was literally what you said, verbatim this time. I'm actually verbatim.
I was saying it sarcastically because no, that's not the case. That was something that
You know better than I do.
So they just tried to teach that to you because of their hurt?
They tried to
Bullshit.
warn me, not like every guy does to the younger generation. Like I keep trying to say, and I guess again, you know
Be
better.
a whore and get
Jesus
all the numbers up. For what
Christ.
reason?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, well,
But
that was a point I was making.
the previous generations, like, that's what you were supposed to do as a man. You were supposed to spread your seed, not just my family, but everywhere.
Right.
Now, I'm telling you that there are more like I know that you were there when they told me the stories, and I know that you know everything, but I'm telling you, every one of them have that story where they didn't believe the narrative until they experienced it for themselves. And once they experience it for themselves, they go, hey, man, there's a reason why all the comedians say the same thing. There's a reason why all the guys say the same thing. It's because you can't just be nice to broads. You can't just go, hey, you know what? Go ahead. Leave the TV on, which you want. Can I maybe change the channel sometime? No? Okay. It's on you. You get what you want. You figure that out. Once you give in to a broad, it's the worst thing you can do. If a broad thinks you won't leave, it's the worst thing that can happen. Because they stop being the girlfriend and they start being the wife. As long as you're comfortable and safe. If you think I'm going to leave, you'll start changing. But until that point, you have no reason to. What the fuck do you care? And, like, again, yeah, my family, all of the men in my family had been hurt by a female at some point. That's not hurt.
Everybody's been hurt by another sex. That wasn't my point. They were teaching you to spread your seed because that's what men do. Like you just said.
That's what biologically the male species does across the board. That's what we're taught to do. The idea of men not being as much of a horse is something that's new. But again, no, my family didn't become whores because of a female.
They were told to be whores.
Oh my God, because of a female hurting them. However, my family definitely told me doing the nice guy thing isn't going to work for you. They're different arguments.
Okay, you're bringing the other one in for no reason to try to.
I was in the middle of talking when you interrupted me to bring that up. I was about to tell the story about how I didn't buy females drinks. You knew it was coming, and you came in out of nowhere. Man, is that why your family was whores? Like, okay, no, it's not. But they're different. They're different things. There's a difference between being a whore and being overly nice to females. There is a difference. If you want to be a whore, your best bet is to not be overly nice. The more you're mean, the more you're not who girls say they want, the more they're going to try, because females have that need to fix. Oh, he's this guy. He just needs somebody to love him. And you guys do the same shit. But just like with literally everything else I'm saying, I'm wrong and you know better. Whether it's my family, whether it's your family, whether it's dudes in general.
Using your family as an example, not calling them unique.
Okay, you're making a separate argument.
I wasn't making a separate.
The idea that men were told to spread their seed is a different argument than being overly nice to females and it working out for you. That was the point of my argument. It always is.
You were saying the reason that men cheat is because of women.
No.
Yes,
No,
you
no.
did. If he cheats on you, it's your fault. No.
Yeah.
A lot of men are taught to spread your seed.
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter.
if she's good.
It
Just
doesn't.
like I used
If-
an
if
example.
you're-
Let me finish.
if-
Just like I was talking about Jason saying he had a perfectly good. Why are you cheating? Because she's there. Because she's available. Because she offered it. Because I wanted something different.
Okay, so Jason is the
Whatever.
representation.
No, because it was the same mentality as your family trying to push it on you.
It wasn't.
It didn't work because you are a decent guy.
No.
You are not the average man.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
there's
one of the reasons
there's
I
a
love
lot
you.
more better men out there than you want to pretend like there are. I'm sorry that you chose
I
to
disagree.
support or to associate yourself with the worst of the worst, but the most of the men I knew weren't like that. And again, thinking you arrogantly know, well, she's a good one. She's the one that how do you know? How do you know she doesn't do this right or she doesn't do that right? And he's not looking for something else. Maybe that dude is super insecure. Maybe, but that literally has nothing to do with being nice to broads is going to work out for you. That was what I was talking about at that point. The idea of dudes cheating on you, if you're a good chick and you're hot and you're fun and he's not going to cheat on you.
It's not the case.
Right.
It's just not true.
That's arrogance speaking.
It's not arrogance.
It
I've
is.
seen it happen time and time again.
Time and time
just with
again.
me.
Yep.
I'm not talking just me.
Time and time again. Because again, it couldn't possibly be that the broad wasn't what you thought she was. I know when I was a teenager, I saw this picture one time, and it was this really beautiful broad doing like, yeah. And it said, no matter how hot she is, somebody somewhere is sick of her shit. It's the truth. It doesn't matter how hot you are. Lots of chicks are hot. What matters more than anything is who you are as a person. That's what we like more than anything. And if you fulfill our needs, then yeah, we're going to stick with you. Now, should anybody be getting in long-term marriage relationships in high school? No. Should you be taking it seriously if your boyfriend cheats on you in high school or college? No, you fucking weirdo. You're talking about like a 4, 5 year, 6 year period of your life that's affecting the rest of your life? What kind of dysfunctional weirdo are you?
All the movies that portray the high school sweethearts, high school.
Who gives a shit?
Well, it's conditioning.
Lots of movies portray fucking guys with axe murder. This shit. You see that you literally, this is all you watch. And this shit never happens. There are never shootouts with the cops and cars flipping over and exploding, boom, boom. But that's all you ever want to watch. That doesn't mean it's real. You as a real person.
Not a child.
Exactly. So not being at it,
future.
looking at it, not being a child who's not in high school or not in college, you should be able to move past those situations and not go, well, they hurt my feelings when they're back then, so I'm going to have a chip on my shoulder for the rest of my life. That is fucking insane. That is the definition of dysfunction. If something happens, if somebody cheats on you, oh well, let it go, their loss, and you move on. You don't miss out on something in the future because somebody bad in the past did something. Why would you give that person that kind of power over you? I'm still hurting because of a relationship I'm not in anymore. You're not in the relationship anymore. Good for you. You should be happy. If you get a divorce, that's awesome. You know why? Because lots and lots of bad marriages keep going. If you're good enough to get out of the other thing, no good marriages end in divorce. 100% of the time, a good marriage lasts. No good marriage is like, man, everything's going well. You're everything I want. Let's get a divorce. Never fucking happens. If you get a divorce, it's a good thing. Why would you ever think anything otherwise? Oh, because my grandmother 50 years ago thought this block. Who gives a fuck? Like, if you're hanging on to anything from the past like that, that's dysfunction. That's your stupidity. That's not what guys are or what girls are or whatever. That's you. You and your fucked up dysfunction. You know, and if you're a female that thinks guys are going to cheat on you no matter what, guess what? You're going to make that happen. You get a guy that doesn't do that. Like, if you get a guy that won't hit you, guess what you'll do? You'll hit him. You'll get in his face. You'll scream at him. You'll push him out of the way. You'll do all kinds of shit because you know he's not going to do anything to you. It's simple. It's just simple bullshit. And the thing that most people don't want to realize or acknowledge is that they were taught how to be in a relationship from a really dysfunctional dumbass. You were taught how to engage between men and women and what relationships are and what the roles are and what the power dynamic is. More than likely, it was by a fucking dysfunctional dumbass. And if you're really honest, you'll notice that yes, you might not live in the same house. You might not have the same names. You might have some superficial differences. But you and your mom, whatever your mom, your dad, whatever you're probably just like them. You're probably way more like them than you're comfortable admitting. And it's so crazy dysfunctional. You know, women are just so fucked up. They really are. Like, I would imagine, you know, nowadays it would be nice. Like, if you're a younger guy and I would imagine the females today are a lot more adjusted than the females back then. Not all of them, by any means. There's still a lot of fucking stupid shit out there, blah, blah, blah. But these women, you know, like Angela's generation, if you look at Angela's generation, these broads were told to wear shoulder pads so they look like fucking football players and shit. They'd have these big ass shoulder pads in their shit. They tease their hair up this big. They coat their face in raccoon makeup. I got pictures of my mom when she's young, and she's got like, she had freckles. And it's funny because my mom like loved fake tanning and shit. She loved it. But when she was, you know, in her 20s and shit, there are pictures of her at work where her whole face, like she would put on a whole foundation of white. She looked like one of those girls from the video, Robert Palmer video. Except those girls have their hair back in a bun. Where my mom, I can remember my mom like blow drying her hair, blow dryer in one hand, hairspray in the other, and cigarette in her mouth, fucking making her hair as big as she could possibly make it. You know, wearing these awful fucking high heels. Wearing these like we talked about the other day, the nylons or whatever, the pantyhose. Because a woman just wasn't a woman if she had her legs showing.
You had no class.
Right.
You were a whore.
Right. And so like, you know, it's really weird how much of that shit, like, my wife hangs on to that shit a lot. There's a lot of that old school mentality that's like, dude, come on. It's fucking broken, stupid shit. That's why it's not still here. Let it go. Move past it. It's not that big a deal. Think about this. Like, if you got cheated on in previous relationships, and you are now in another relationship, and you haven't let that go, you still treat that new person like they're the old person. What kind of fucked up asshole are you? Well, I had some stuff happen to me. I had a boy cheat on me, and who gives a shit? Welcome to the real world, sweetheart. This is one of those things. That's what my song, Ronda Rousey Sucks, is about. You know, women don't want equality. Women want, like, supremacy equality, right? You don't ever see the feminist groups outside of a trial of some sort where they're demanding that the woman be treated just as the man would be treated. If anything, you'll see these feminists, making it sound like the woman was the victim of the man. She couldn't have left. She didn't have all these red flags way in the beginning, and she stuck around. The first 6 times he whipped her ass, she didn't leave. That's because she's a victim of the man. You don't like equality there, where she is responsible and accountable for her own decisions. You never see that with... I can't even think of something negative that feminists, fight for. I mean, look at the WNBA, the delusional idea that they walk around going, we should be paid just as much as the men. We're just as good. We put just as good a show on. And then you get attacked for going, oh, come on, you're not serious, are you? Now you're somehow this dude who doesn't like women and all this other... It's so fucking crazy. It's so crazy. I like I said, I sure wish I was gay. I sure wish I would have come out gay and, had the 2 incomes, hardworking men, 2 sex drives, no kids. Like, sounds like that's pretty nice. Other than that gay part. But I just, as fucked up as my life has been and my experience has been, I don't believe that it's a negative. We got in this big argument the other day about it. We were watching Cheaters. And again, it was, the guy is only cheating because the girl is younger, and that's that. And it's purely a sexual thing. It's it's not about emotional connection. And there was this one part where they were saying goodbye, and the woman put her arms around the man and gave him a big kiss. And I was like, that's what he likes. That right there, where he feels valuable, where he feels like he matters, like she's going to miss him. That's what he likes. Because when he leaves his house with his wife, she goes, all right, see ya. All right. She doesn't even try. She doesn't give a shit. So he's supposed to go out, do his thing, be hit on by this young, attractive woman who actually seems to like him, so that he can come home and fight with his wife. Or not, even worse, not even talk to her. They're those people that live in the same house, but they're completely separate. That's the worst. When you're with somebody but you're alone, that's the fucking worst. But again, to think that maybe if the woman showed more interest, if the woman gave a shit about what she looked like and didn't wear the same outfit for a week and a half, and, if she gave a shit, maybe he wouldn't have such a wandering eye. And my whole thing was, why isn't it like that? It should be like that. It should be like that throughout the whole marriage. Why not? And she says, it's unrealistic to think that anybody could be like that for an entire marriage. And I go, well, Jesus, I wish I would have known that. I wish I would have known that that's how you think. Because that says a lot. If you don't think it could be that way, you're not going to try to be that way. When you already have your answer, you don't try to ask the question.
Doing wanting and expecting that is setting yourself up for failure. Everybody wants that. And if you end up having that, that's a fucking huge bonus. But to expect that is really high expectation.
Yeah, to expect that, to think, how about while I'm out there fishing, I don't settle for anything less than somebody who thinks the same way I do. And I think that's something that we're not taught to do as kids. So when we're adults, we go, well, you know, I like this part and I like that part. I don't like a lot of this other shit, but hey, at least I like these parts. The last guy I was with, I didn't even have those parts that I liked.
That's what it
You know?
boils down to, yeah.
Well, that, again, see what I mean? Do you see how awful that is?
It's a good thing.
But that's how your mentality is. And if you have that mentality, then whatever you do, like, find somebody else with that mentality. That way, because the worst part is, at the end of the day, she gets what she wants. She knows it's not going to be like that, so she doesn't have to try and make it that way and find every excuse to whatever. So she gets what she wants. I'm the one that thinks it should be that way. I'm the one that wants it that way. And I'm the one that doesn't get what I want. So for her, it's easy to just be like, oh, well, that's unrealistic. That. And then just, you know, she doesn't care. It's not important to her. But to me, I'm stuck without it. I'm stuck without something that I want. And to think that, you know, you don't even think it's possible, that's, you're right. If you don't think it's possible, you're right. It's not. And these are things that, like, you know, this is something that adults will tell you, but it's super important that you really vet the person that you're planning on marrying. Don't fall for that new car smell. Oh, this feels really good. Let's get married thing. You know, learn who that person is. And sometimes you might need to be, like, better. You know, you might need, so, told this story too before, but, so, again, Bonnie was the girl that, when I was 21 when we got together. She was a year older than me. We went to Hawaii. We didn't, like, there was this real environmental connection that was created, right? And we actually had a pretty good connection. But a little birdie had gotten in her ear, and this is at least the narrative I was given, and that she was told that I was planning on breaking up with her and all this other shit. So she got really, 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 really drunk and ended up having sex with this guy. And I walked in, like, the way it was, the room was set up, we had little bunk beds. It's not like it was like a house or anything. It was a small room. And I walked in and I see that the bed is shaking, and I'm like, what the fuck? And, like, she was like barely conscious drunk. Like, it's actually a pretty sick kind of situation. But I was, you know, instead of jumping on the guy and beating him up or flipping out, I was just like, all right, whatever. And that was that. And then for the next, like, 2 weeks, she played into my ego, right? She was, I'm sorry. And she would constantly, like, send notes and all this shit, like, really, like, making me feel desired. And because I was alone in San Diego, and we had just gotten kicked out of the place we were all living anyway, it was like, at least I had somebody with me. Like, okay, let's give this a shot. However, it was, you know, she had cheated, and it was, I don't know, but, like, after we had gotten back to San Diego, we got our apartment. It was Christmas time was coming up. My mom offered to fly us both back to Michigan for like a week or two to just, I think it was maybe a week and a half, maybe a week, I don't know, something, so she could meet the family, and, you know, just, we were gonna just go have a little break. And she didn't want to go. So I went. And while I was gone,
She didn't want to go.
right. So she didn't want to go. So the relationship was already falling apart at that point. That's the realistic way of looking at it. Things weren't good if she didn't want to go with me. Who knows what the fuck she was actually doing, but while I was gone, I cheated. And when I came home, you know, things were just, they just went right back to being sort of rocky and whatnot. And again, it was like, I'm 21 and she's 22. What the fuck are we thinking? You know, we're both these, like, these, you know, we're just wandering right now. Like, it's just this, it's just goofy. It's like, it's more romantic black and white pictures than it is real, you know? And I don't know, like 2 weeks after I got home, for some reason, I got this urge to go check the mail. And I never checked the mail, but I did. And there was a note in there from the girl I cheated with. And it was just like, oh, you know, it was this long note, and it was just, oh, I had a good time, it was great seeing you, da, 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 da. We talked, you know. And then at the end, she threw like some little thing in there that gave it away. I can't remember what it was. But it gave it away. And, you know, we got in a fight, and we broke up. And, you know, and this was a breakup that took days to happen, and, I mean, we lived together and all this other bullshit. But she ended up going back and living, because she couldn't afford the apartment by herself. And I don't think she was on the lease. And so she went back and lived with the rich people in the motor home on their property, but she probably stayed in the house actually because they liked her. But for the next couple weeks, like, she would start to call, and she'd be like, you know, maybe we should get back together, and she would call, and I would spend like hours talking to her on the phone, and it was just weird. And I remember my dad was like, listen, it's gonna hurt, because again, you care about the girl. It's not like I didn't like her or care about her or anything. It just, you know, I remember telling her, like, look, I cheated on you. We were already not working. If I cheated on you, we're already past that point. Like, you know, that's where we broke up. And so she would call, and then my dad said, you know, this is, you know, from his experience with the Angies and whatnot. He was like, look, I gotta be the dickhead, you know. You gotta just not answer the phone anymore. You have the advantage of caller ID. So you can see who's calling. So you gotta just stop answering. And I can remember sitting there, and the phone would just ring and ring, and she would just keep calling and calling. And it would hurt so bad. And it you know, it almost got annoying. But so I had experienced something when I was way younger, and I knew, I've always been aware of this. There was this, my mom was dating this dude, and his name was Will, and he had a daughter. And if I was like 10 years old, the little girl was like 7 or 8, whatever. I don't know how old the age, but it was something like that. And she had one of those little girl crushes on me. And I hated it. She used to follow me around when I would go out. She would, you know. And so one day I got this bright idea. Hey, my buddy Ryan is really, you know, the girls like Ryan. He's younger than me. He's her age. Why don't I introduce her to Ryan? And she immediately was like just enamored with Ryan. He was, you know, she was obviously a busted little girl. I wonder whatever happened to her, whatever. But as soon as I didn't matter anymore, I was like, hey, wait a minute. What about me? Like it instantly was like, what the fuck? Like, I know I hated this, but you don't have to just completely forget. Wasn't I awesome? Like, how did you just get over me that quickly? And so the phone calls would happen for hours on end. Like, it was just so weird. And then one day they stopped. And my house was really quiet. And I remember like it was like a bittersweet double-edged sword kind of thing where I knew this was the right thing to happen, but you know, in my mind, well, obviously somebody else is fucking her now, so she's good, and there's still that connects, like that. I don't want anybody fucking her, like that kind of thing, but I got over it pretty quickly. And then I don't know, a couple of years later or whatever, like we would bounce into each other here and there throughout. And one day, she showed up at my house, in my apartment, fucking like 8 months pregnant and shit. Like, it was crazy. I was like, whoa, that's not my baby. Like, I always thought it was supposed to be my baby. And she was like, I know, that's really weird. But she hung out with me for like a weekend. We obviously didn't fuck around. She was 8 months pregnant. Gross. Gross with some other dude's baby, obviously. But we talked about it, and she was like, yeah, I always wanted to thank you for not answering the phone. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I wouldn't have been able to get over it. I would have just kept, things would have gotten drawn out a lot longer if you would have kept answering the phone, and you didn't. And, I thought you were an asshole for a minute, but I realized what you did, and I was like, that sucked. I hated it. I didn't want to do that, but sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you have to be a dick. But the thing is, again, your average female is going to be like, oh, he's just an asshole. He's not calling. Yeah, he's not answering the phone. Yeah, you don't realize the guy's sitting there like holding his hand so he doesn't grab the phone. Because he wants to so bad. Especially not just to get laid, but to have that person there, that connection there. There's something to that. Most guys are not players. Most guys couldn't be players if they wanted to be. Most guys are dorks. And if you hung out with cool guys who actually had the opportunity to do to females what they do to men all the time, I mean, that's rare. But to sit here and pretend like females aren't fucking multiple dudes at once, like not at once, but at a time, and females are just, come on. You're the second class citizens and everything, but as the Greek thing says, the men may be the head of the household, but the woman is the neck, and she can turn the head any way she wants to. And my wife loves that saying until there's accountability to be had. Then it's the guy's an asshole and the woman could do nothing about it. It's really fucked up, man. It's really fucked up. Guys, you need to let go of your shit. Females, you need to let go of your shit. Anybody who is, if you are hanging on to baggage from a previous relationship, you're the one at fault. The new person didn't do it, and the new person is going to respond to that baggage. Why would you ever allow that person that you broke up with, or even broke up with you, to have power over you? It might hurt, it might suck, but fucking A, man. Nobody is like, unless you literally have the relationship where that person wouldn't do that to you to begin with, you're not with the right person. The right person's not going to do that stuff to you. So guess what? You're probably going to have to go through the wrong person a couple of times. It's probably a good idea to test the field a few times before you get yourself locked into something. But you will know, like the song Mold says. I think biology's at play, man. I think if we start thinking of things more like we buy our food, things might be different. Stop all that fuck around. Got to go on 13 dates before we do this, that, and the other. Fucking A, man. Blow the guy. You've thrown, you laugh. You've given plenty of blowjobs in your life that you're not proud of. There's plenty of blowjobs in your life that you would take back if you could. And if the dude tastes like fucking toxin, then that's not the guy for you. That's biology. Guys, if you go down on the broad and you're like, ugh, that's horrible, it's all sour in you, then that's not the right broad for you. That's a real basic thing right there. That's animal instinct type of shit. Yeah. I mean, we need to change how we do things. The revolution is not just one or two things. It's all encompassing. I don't know, man. I think women are amazing. They have so much potential. They need to shed so much bullshit that was put on them for generations. And so did the dudes. You know? That thing where you think if you bang a bunch of chicks, it'll be fulfilling. It'll make you feel better. It doesn't. It doesn't work. You know? Sex is much better when it's with someone you dig. Someone that digs you. That first time, sure, it's exciting, but it can be weird and, not everything's right. Once you get to know somebody a little bit, you know how to play that game. Do. We have to start looking at things differently. And I really do. I think it's so goddamn unfair for anybody to hold on to anything from fucking high school, from fucking college. You don't do anything the same way. You don't dress the same way you did back then. You don't drive the same way you did. You don't live your life the same way. You don't look like you did back then. Why are you saying that what happened back then affects you today? That's so fucking sad. That's so dysfunctional. That's so fucking unfair. Nobody should pay for what somebody else did. It's a clean slate. Every time you get into a new situation, it's a clean slate. How dare you make somebody else pay for your shit? My wife doesn't realize how lucky she is. If I were to let my previous relationship affect my current relationship, she definitely wouldn't have the freedom she has. I'd constantly be worried she's out cheating, she's doing this, she's doing that. At this point, I don't fucking care. You do what you got to do. If you're gonna cheat on me, you're gonna do it regardless. So, me losing sleep over it or whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's, what am I going to be worried that every time I can't get a hold of my wife, that she's somewhere getting heroin and getting fucked up because Bonnie was a heroin addict? No. The fuck do I care? Bonnie's dead. Why would I let anything from a dead girl from when I couldn't even grow a proper beard back then? I'm going to let anything that happened back then affect me today? Do you know how unfair that is? It's so weird. It's just so weird. Oh, well, I don't look like I did when I was 21. When I was 21, I was a sculpted fucking god. I'm 47. I got gray chest and ball hairs and shit. Am I going to get mad because I got a little belly now? No. What the fuck do I care? That's part of the game. I don't look like I used to look. Oh, well. I mean, if you're expecting an 18-year-old body as a female, you're with the wrong motherfucker. Gotta let go of your insecurities and shit, people. Gotta let go of the insecurities and the dysfunctions. And with that, I am going to bid you a fond adieu. Go get your fucking free download, www.the-bilderberg-group.com. It's free. Just click download. It'll ask you how much you want to pay. You click free. You click 0. It's free. It's free. Go look at all the different receipts I provide you. A link to the most important film ever made, Hollywoodism. A link to the most important article ever written, Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness. A link to Team Jorge. A link to Act IL. A link to the Havara Agreement. A link to auto emancipation. I know I didn't talk much about it today, the whole Friar thing, but realize that everything I'm talking about, all of her dysfunctions, all of my dysfunctions, all of your guys' dysfunctions, this is all put on us. There's a reason why they don't want us to be in good relationships. There's a reason why my wife got into a relationship, in college. What sort of dumbass thinks they're going to marry the dude they're in college? Come on.
How else can you be married for 40 years like your grandparents?
Exactly.
That's
exactly
what it boils down to.
They've been teaching us to be dysfunctional forever. You're supposed to marry your high school sweetheart? Are you out of your fucking mind? They say that every 7 years, all of the cells in your body regenerate. So effectively, every 7 years, you're a new person.
I want to be one of those old ladies that gets to spend her 50th wedding anniversary with her husband.
Why? For what? How about you're one of those ladies that had a great life till you were in you did your own thing, you explored, you tried the different flavors, you went on vacations, you actually lived a you life until you were in your 30s, when then you got married, you popped out a couple of kids and did the secondary life. Wouldn't that be a much better, more feasible, reasonable circumstance? If you pay attention to the 7 years thing, look at it. Look at what happens when we're 7 years old, when we're 14 years old, when we're 21 years old, when we're 28 years old. These are milestones where you can tell that big things change. There's a lot of change between a 6 and an 8-year-old. There's a lot of change between a 12 and a 14-year-old, a 19 and a 22-year-old. To think that you're going to get with somebody in your 3rd cycle and still be with them by the 5th cycle, do you know how insane that fucking is? You know? You're going to have a 50-year anniversary like your grandparents. Go ask anyone. If you ask any fucking old couple like that, you say, hey, what's the secret to the long, happy marriage? They will never, ever say, both people respect each other. Both people respect each other's needs. She's there for me. She's supportive of me. She's helping me just as much as I help her. Every single fucking time, the man will say, well, at some point, she just gave up. She was right she's right. I just let her be right, and that's it. And the wife will be like, it's because you can't. Literally, they will say it 100% of the time. Eventually, the man just gives up. And that's not how anything should ever be. It should be the first answer. Lots of support, lots of trust, lots of fucking working together to make things better, and, Lots of accountability, lots of personal accountability, and the ability to work together, and never ever saying to each other, you know, why should I have to tell you that? Who are you? I shouldn't have to work on those things with you. I should be. That shit will never ever work. Never. Nobody wants to hear that. You're not important enough for me to share my deepest shit with. Yeah. Besides, if I do, you're going to say something I don't like. You know, because you're just trying to be mean to me. Right? When your spouse says something you don't like, it's because they're trying to be mean to you? Or are they trying to tell you something? And shouldn't your spouse be the person that is, out of anybody, allowed to sort of tell you stuff that you might not like? So weird, man. We are just so weird. We are so dysfunctional. We're raised to be so dysfunctional. What they've done to females, go to any grocery store where females are supposed to do the shopping, and while you're standing in line to pay, you're surrounded by a bunch of magazines calling you fat, calling you poor, calling you stupid. Your man's not this. You want 100 ways to please your man written by a woman. Like Dave Chappelle said, it's like 4 things. Suck his dick more, make him a sandwich, you know, shut up and don't talk so much. Like, that's about it. Give him some space. You suck your man's dick. You be cool. Play video games with your dude. Hang out with your dude. Show interest in anything he likes. Your dude is going to be so goddamn grateful. Sometimes. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes you'll be the type that'll go, you know, sit in a golf cart while they play golf. And because they didn't appreciate it, doesn't mean the next dude won't. But you'll go, wow, well, he didn't appreciate it, so I'm never going to be like that again. It's a bad way to go. What's the topic today, Matt? Bitches! We're talking about bitches. Talking about dysfunction, man, and how just dysfunction wrecks humanity. I mean, think about it. The vast majority of the people that are in relationships believe in some sort of sky daddy, and believe that you know, what will, like, there's a lot of Catholics. These Catholics are getting marital advice and life advice from weird ass virgins who've never had to live on their own or pay bills or anything. That is so fucking insane. Why anybody would listen, like, you wouldn't listen to a virgin for any reason. You would assume if somebody was a virgin that they just haven't had enough life experience for them to tell you shit. Oh, man. Dysfunction is just the worst. It's just the worst. It affects so much, and it wrecks so much, and it's just awful. Both sides, everything. Mommy, daddy bullshit. You know, the thing that's weird for me is because there was already a disconnection, and I'd already spent years with my mom's dysfunctional bullshit. When she died, that dysfunctional thing that, you know, makes you attracted to your mother kind of thing, that died with her. And so a lot of the weird stuff that my wife did, that my mom did, suddenly becomes like just weird. It doesn't have that same hold it used to have. And that was a weird thing for me to experience, an unexpected thing. I'd never heard anybody say that before. But I was just like, you know, I had already long accepted that I couldn't fix my mom. But the weird shit The weird shit just went away. Mary, what's going on? Yeah, I'd stay away from Leo. He's a pedo. And like, it's weird because like all this stuff I'm talking about today, the vast majority of the troll commenters, they have no fucking idea. If they've had sex, they paid for it. Right? These guys have no fucking clue what I'm talking about when it comes to relationships, especially since, a lot of them are inbred friars. And the last thing any of you would want was to be in a friar relationship. These are the worst people in the world, so. These dumbass fucking Christians, Catholics, Muslims. It's all the same stupidity. It really is. It's all the same embarrassing. I don't know. I can't see inside the mailbox till I look, right? Okay, just making sure. Nope. Not yet then, lad. Not yet. Oh. Anyway, like I said, I'm leaving. I wish it wasn't right when Mary and Matt got here, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. The cookie crumbles. Yeah. Like I say, have yourself a great day. Go check out all the links in the description. Go get your free download. And most importantly, you pedophiles, kill yourself. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay.